Greetings, friends. As always, it's an honor to welcome you back to Rick's Garage. It's a beautiful fall day today here in the Northeast. I got my two shepherds out. One is out there laying in the field, and my other one is right here with me. The subject of today's video is this 2016 Nissan Rogue. I'm getting sort of a vibration type noise. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think it might be a wheel bearing, but I'm not sure. It has 84,000 miles on it. Now the funny thing about that is they have trouble with these transmissions on these cars. They just increased the warranty on them to 84,000 miles, and this car has 84,800 miles. So if it's a transmission problem causing this noise, we're kind of out of luck. But I don't think so. I think it's a wheel bearing type noise. And the reason I think so is when you go around a curve to the left, the pitch of the noise changes. If it was a transmission, I don't think that would happen. However, being that it only has 84,000 miles, it's unusual that a bearing would go. Usually you don't get a wheel bearing letting go till you get up well over 100,000 miles. So we're going to see if we can pinpoint what's causing this problem. Friends, we're back inside the garage and we're on my bench. And what you see before you is my Steelman chassis ear. These are microphone transmitters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach one to all four wheels, and I'm going to press the channel buttons one at a time until we figure out which wheel is making the noise. So I'm going to go ahead and start attaching these and see what happens. Alright friends, we're under the vehicle. We're supported by a jack stand. I'm going to take these Velcro straps that were provided with the kit, and I am going to wrap it around the control arm as such. Hope you saw that. Then I'm going to take the transmitter and I'm going to attach it to the Velcro strip as so. And I'm going to take the microphone and I'm going to attach it to the brake caliper. Alright, so we're well away from the wheel. Nothing is going to come in contact with anything. And we're going to turn this on. There, it's on. And so now we're going to do the same thing to all four wheels. This is number one. We're on the driver's side front. We're going to go around the vehicle clockwise. Number two will be the passenger side front. Number three will be the passenger side rear, and number four will be the driver's side rear. So I'll come back when I've got all four of these hooked up and we'll take it for a test drive and see what happens. So we're about ready to venture out onto the road. I'm going to turn on the receiver. We're on channel number one, and number one, as you recall, will be the driver's side front, and we're going to go out and see if we hear any noise. I'm going to try to go about 30 miles an hour. That's when the noise is most prevalent. Alright, it seems fairly quiet. There's a little bit of brake noise, but not the kind of noise I'm getting. Let's go to channel 2. We're getting some noise on channel 2. Go to number 3. We're just getting a little bit of brake noise. Number 4. Just a little bit of brake noise. Seems like the noise is coming from channel 2. I'm at a stop sign. Well friends, I'm back here at the garage. And as you can see, I've raised the vehicle. It's actually been a few days since we were at that stop sign. I sent away for the replacement wheel bearing. That's come in, it's on my bench. The reason I didn't continue any further testing is I only had to go a few hundred yards and it was very obvious which wheel it was. I don't like to drive around too long with those microphones and transmitters underneath the car for fear that they might fall off or I might lose one. As soon as I realized unmistakably that it was the passenger side front that was making the noise, then I shut the thing off, returned, and ordered the part. Now, I'm not going to show this repair because I went on YouTube and I found that there's an excellent video on how to do this exact repair. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you know I don't like to duplicate videos that are well done on YouTube. Lots of times, if I feel I can do a better job of the filming, I'll go ahead and film a repair that's been previously done, or if I got a better way of doing it, I'll film the repair. But this particular video, and I'll link it in the descriptions, does this repair, and I don't see any way I could possibly improve upon it, so I'm not going to throw my hat into the ring, so to speak. So one thing I'm going to talk to you about is how to determine which wheel it is if you don't happen to own a Steelman chassis ear. It's well worth the purchase if you want one. This thing, like I say, detected the bad bearing in about 3 minutes. And I want to mention I'm not associated with that company. I paid for that with my own money. They're not sponsoring me. One way to tell if you've got bearing noise is to simply sit in all four corners of the car. Have a helper drive the car for you. First, you drive the car, and then have a helper drive the car and sit on the passenger side and see if the noise seems a little more pronounced to you. And then sit in each corner of the back seat, and it should become clear to you where that noise is coming from. Now, if it isn't, as it gets worse, it'll be easier to detect. Now, I'm not saying you let it go so long that the wheel gets loose. I did a video not too long ago on a Jeep where the wheel was almost flopping loose, the bearing was so bad. You don't want to let it get that bad. The other thing you can do, and I just tried it off camera, put the car in neutral, and to get rid of the neutral warning beeping, I had to disconnect the battery, and it's always a good idea to disconnect the battery no matter what kind of repair you're doing. So the battery is disconnected, the car's in neutral, all four wheels are off the ground. And what I did is I took an ordinary mechanic's stethoscope, and I put the stethoscope on one of the bolts that actually hold the hub in, and I turned the wheel by hand all the way around several times. I did it to both wheels, and it was almost indistinguishable. One of the problems is this noise doesn't present itself until you get up around 25-30 miles an hour. So it's impossible to do that here with the car off the ground. I don't recommend starting the motor and actually spinning the wheels. I don't think you should do that. So what I did was I turned the wheel by hand with the stethoscope on one of the bolts that actually go to the hub. And on the bearing that was bad, I really couldn't detect any noise out of the ordinary. And then I went over to the bearing that I knew it was good on the other side, and it sounded almost exactly the same, but there was a very slight difference. On the bearing that was bad, the noise wasn't consistent all the way around the wheel. I would go around the wheel, and about halfway around, the noise would quiet down a little bit, and then I'd come around, the noise would pick up again. So it wasn't a consistent noise all the way around. On the wheel that was good, the noise sounded the same all the way around. So it was hardly distinguishable between the two, but that's what I found is the bearing that was bad would not make the same noise all the way around, where the bearing that was good would make the same noise all the way around. And that's the only difference I could tell with a mechanic's stethoscope. Well, friends, I've completed the repair. I just pulled back in the driveway after taking it for a test drive. And as far as that bearing is concerned, it's as quiet as a church mouse. The repair was a complete success. Now, once again, I apologize for not showing this repair, but I felt there was no need to. The video that I'm going to link in the descriptions covered this job quite nicely, and it was as easy as they made it look. There's quite a bit of savings to be had if you do attempt this yourself. The repair shops, from what I understand, want about $500 to do this job. If you go to your local parts store, this bearing hub assembly costs about $125, but you can buy it on Amazon for about $75. And that's exactly what I did. I purchased this hub assembly on Amazon. Now this is the actual old bearing I replaced. It really don't feel too bad. It don't feel too bad, but it's got a little bit of side-to-side play in it. Just barely feel it. And you really can't hear anything, but although, like I tested with the stethoscope, it turns fairly easy, and then it starts to turn a little harder, and then it turns easy. And that was kind of what I was telling with the standard stethoscope. So that's all I've got, friends. I'd like to thank you once again for watching Rick's Garage. Before I go, I will post 2 videos to your left, of which I hope you find of interest. And to your right, as always, will be a picture of my avatar in the form of my trusty German Shepherd. By all means, feel free to click on that should you wish to subscribe to my channel. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you all very, very soon.